I think the big thing with all the receivers is that we need to make sure that we're going to be consistently good, not occasionally great. I think that they're giving us fantastic effort, and as they continue to gain confidence as a group, I think they'll get better and better.
Chris or John, questions?
How close are you to finalizing the depth chart?
Depth chart is final, pretty final. It should be popping out here anytime soon.
Have you named any starters?
Yeah, when the depth chart, there's starters and there's backups named. It should pop out here anytime.
Any questions in the middle?
Mr. Mahoney was a walk-on, now scholarship reaction, discussion about that?
Jesse deserves it. You know, it's being fair. Some things in life aren't fair, but with the amount of effort and sweat and blood he's put into this program, the fair thing to do is to put that young man on scholarship, which is what we did.
Matt or Mark?
Camp is over. Game playing now, but as a coach, you kind of wish you had a couple more days, or are you ready to get into game planning?
No, I wish I had a couple of more days because it's my first year. You always want more time your first year. When it's your second or third year, you're ready to go. That's not going to matter. Time is of the essence, and it's running short. We're going to have a game here in about 8 days, 7 days. So we'll be ready. We'll be ready.
Coach, can you walk us through kind of that preparation of getting ready for game week and what that's like?
Well, you're doing two things when you get to this stage. It's very unique than any other stage during the year because you're coming off of camp, and you've got some tired legs. And what you've got to do is you got to be able to give the young men their legs back, where you're still attacking them mentally, getting ready for Colgate. So it's a delicate situation, but it's not our first rodeo. They'll be fresh and they'll be ready to go.
Chris and Steven? No questions?
Which true freshmen do you think have earned their way either onto the depth chart or onto the field early this year?
I'm not going to single out our freshmen. I think that we have a good group. We're happy with the group that we have. I think they're all working hard. I will say that there's going to be a couple of individuals in that group that's going to get an opportunity to play and hopefully help us.
You've obviously run a pretty quiet camp just with access and how much you've said. What was kind of the mindset behind that?
As far as?
You know, what was the objective? Why choose that route? Be it for the team or for the public?
I'm not sure what you're asking. Be more
I think
specific.
it just means limited access as far as time to shoot stuff.
Just generally. I'm not talking about specific players, just all those things.
I think it's really important, especially your first camp, that you try to stay focused on the task. And the task is I wanted those guys mentally to be sharp. I didn't want them to be having sidebars or thinking about other things. I wanted them really locked in offensively and defensively on what we're trying to teach them with the techniques and fundamentals, because it's hard when people have been doing one thing for a long period of time one way, to get them to change with all the muscle memory and stuff. It's extremely difficult. So I just wanted to make sure that we had their 100% of their focus on what we were trying to do.
Back here on the left, Paul, Chris, or John?
And
Coach, you're a week away. Are you? Just how excited are you? Are you a guy that gets butterflies?
No. You know what? Again, my excitement's in practice. My detail's in practice. I'm going to get these guys as sharp as I can possibly get them. And then on game day, I'm going to take a step back and put them to the forefront and let them do what they do. My job while the game's going in is to be a TA. You know what I mean? If they're I'm helping them take the test, and the test is the game. If they get a question wrong, then I want them to get a 99. If they got 3 wrong, then I want them to get a 97. My job's not to be emotional. My job is to make sure from that first mistake or that second mistake that I do everything possible that they don't make another one.
in the spring you talked about how you thought Dante Strickland would be a good guy in the backfield in combination with someone else. Just how do you feel about him now?
I feel the exact same way. He had a little owie in camp. We're doing some things to protect him, but I think that there's no doubt that he's in the top 2, and when we figure out who the other guy is going to be, which will be coming to a theater near you very soon, I think that those 2 or 3 individuals are going to give us a very good backfield.
Are you expecting him to be full go by Colgate?
I hope so.
Coach, do you find that guys are looking forward to transitioning out of camp and learning your system and now starting to game plan and
guys
have
love
game week?
transitioning out of camp. There's no doubt. Camp is hard, and camp for us is extremely hard because we do things 3 times faster than everybody else. So they're ready to end camp. They're excited about today, and I think they're looking forward to getting their legs back underneath them for the first game.
As you look at camp ending, obviously your first year, there are things that you think we did well, there are things that you think I probably could have done better. Are there things that you think that exceeded your expectations? Are things that you think you probably should, all right, maybe next season we'll work on this in camp?
I thought that as fast as as our grounds people, Pete Saul and them, got that football field together over there, I thought that was a phenomenal job. Even when you don't care who gets the credit, how people can pull together and make something work. That field helped us, keeping us on the grass with all the reps that we were going to take. That's going to put something back into our legs. I thought that was outstanding. As far as some of the other things, I think we need to just let some time settle and sit back so we can really take a fine look into what was really good and what was really bad about the first camp here at Syracuse, and then we can reevaluate for next year.
Matt or Marion?
Another year for you, but you're accustomed to this situation. Yes, it's a new team, but now only a couple of days away, a week away before you start for real. What changes do you make, with anything, going into that first week of game, maybe from year in and year out?
I don't know about changes. This will be my third situation. My first year as a head coach, we played a team in the first game that in our last game the season before had beaten us by 35 points. And on the coach's as the coach was being retired, they beat that team by 35 points. We opened up with them the next year, and I think we beat them by like 21 with the same players. So that was outstanding. Second time this opportunity happened, we opened up with a team that was supposed to be fantastic. We lost our starting quarterback, and we still won our side of the conference, but we didn't win the championship that everybody thought we were supposed to have. So you never know how opening games are going to go. I try to stay right in the middle. I've won my opener game at a school. I've lost my opening game at a school. And I think it's just a matter about how you prepare and the process to give the kids the best opportunity to have success.
Chris or Steven?
The defensive line, particularly the defensive ends, were probably the big on-paper worry entering camp. How prepared for D1 football do you feel they are right now, and has anyone emerged in particular?
You know, they're going to play as a unit, and we're going to need all of them. We don't even have enough of the ones we do have. We need more. So they're all going to play. If you've got a son or a friend that's playing defensive end, get excited, buy some tickets, because they're going to be in the game. I promise you that.
There are some critics, of the offense that you've run at past stops in terms of quarterbacks transitioning to the NFL, saying that's too simple and too hard to transition. I guess what's kind of your response to that?
I didn't hear the first part. I'm sorry.
Just critics who say that it's hard for quarterbacks to transition to the NFL from this style of offense.
Really? Someone said that?
Yeah.
Okay, let me go back.
I've talked to scouts.
Okay, Kevin Cobb, Philadelphia Eagles. Case Keenum, Houston Texans. RG3, Heisman Trophy, Washington Redskins. Jimmy Garoppolo, New England Patriots, second-round draft pick. All these guys were quarterbacks in this offense. So which quarterback are you referring to that can't make the National Football League?
No, just that in terms of the transition.
Yes, sir. Next question.
Actually, when you mentioned the defensive ends, I wanted to ask you about Kenneth Ruff, because we've seen him running some routes. Is that just to get him work there, or how do you see him maybe fitting in on one side of the ball?
I think he's going to be a multiple position player for us. Again, the numbers are down. We're cross-training a lot of guys. We're going to need guys that can play offense and defense and fit certain roles for us.
When you look at that tight end spot, do you feel like it's more of a depth thing, or would you like to improve maybe the first couple guys on the chart?
I think it's more of a unit. Everybody has a certain role, and what we're trying to do is trying to increase everybody's role and figure out exactly what the guys can do and what they can't do.
When you come into this situation here, when you come to Syracuse, I'm sure you have certain expectations of how it's going to go and what your legacy is going to be here. How do you think this first few months have gone for you?
I think it's been par for the course. You've got to come in, you've got to lay a foundation. There were some things that were wrong. There were some things that were amiss, which is the reason why I'm here. It's a blessing. If they weren't, I wouldn't be here. You'd be talking to someone else. Right. So we understand that. We're coming in to fix these things. And it's going to be, if we get it right, I think it's going to be something that we never have to go back to this again. I think we'll be successful. I think we'll continue to be successful, and we'll be one of the premier programs in the Northeast.